We're ready.
Okay. Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes. Okay, great. So greetings, colleagues, students, and friends. Thank you for being here today. Before we begin today, I need to share some very sad news. As some of you are aware, Executive Director of the Center for Online Learning, Archana Bandari, has been very ill following a massive stroke that she suffered over the holiday. We've been in regular communication with Archana's family to offer our full support. And I'm deeply saddened to report that Archana will receive hospice or long-term care near her family home in Maryland. Archana's son, Vikram Bandari, has given me permission to share this sad news. Needless to say, this is devastating to our community. Archana is a member of our HCCC family and we will miss her greatly. I ask you to join me in a moment of silence for Archana and her family. Thank you. I know that some of you are hearing this news for the first time. We're a family, and during tough times, we always support one another. Please remember that support services are available if you'd like to talk with someone. We encourage you to reach out to faculty, staff, and students to talk through and process your feelings. Students may also contact our Office of Mental Health Counseling and Wellness, and employees may contact our Employee Assistance Program. All of us stand ready to offer support in every way possible. I want to sincerely thank Robert Kahn and the Center for Online Learning team for stepping up to the challenges of Archana's absence. Robert and team, we greatly appreciate your leadership and support. And of course, with the pandemic and the predominant use of online and remote learning, this is as huge an undertaking as one could find. And we really appreciate all that you are doing. Vice President Darrell Jones is now beginning the process for a national search for Executive Director of the Center for Online Learning. So I'm so sorry to share this news, but I wanted you all to be aware, and the family has given me permission to share. Today, we're pleased to welcome the newest member of our staff and HCCC family, John Argola. John's our new Institutional Effectiveness Coordinator in the Office of Institutional Research. He comes to us from the Community College of Morris, and I'd like to ask Executive Director of Institutional Research, John Scanlon, to introduce John, if you would.
Thanks, Chris. Yes, it's the Johns and Institutional Research moment. Yeah, I would like to introduce John Argola. He's waving at you on the screen. As Chris said, John comes to us from County College of Morris, where he had 10 years of experience, mostly as a student success counselor, and where he did a lot of assessment projects related to student success and student outcomes. He was also the chair of the ATD data team at Morris and served as an adjunct professor in psychology and communication. So what John is bringing to IR, among many things, is a combination of assessment experience with frontline student support and teaching experience, which is a really great combination. At Hudson, John will be supporting units across campus with their assessment needs, from tools and resources to help with analysis and best practices. He will be helping me, Heather DeVries, and many others develop and track metrics to evaluate our progress related to strategic goals. And he really brings additional depth in reporting and statistical analysis to the office. So you'll see John pop up in meetings, and he'll be doing outreach to various folks on campus, but we just want to introduce him because we know it's hard to onboard during a pandemic. So welcome, John, and you'll be hearing more from him.
Excellent. Welcome, John. John, would you like to say a few words?
I just wanted to say, John, I think is getting sick of hearing it. I'm so happy to be here. This is like my dream job, and I'm like really looking forward to helping every area of the college. As John said, my background is really in student contact and working with them through the student life cycle. And one of the things I always love to do is help my colleagues out integrating data into their work more. And now I get to do that as my full-time job. And this is exactly what I've been waiting for. So anything I can do to help anyone, please don't hesitate to reach out.
Well, thank you so much. This is an incredibly important area for us. Of course, all areas are, but IR is just key to all of our future aspirations and where we're trying to move as a community college that exercises best practices. So we really look forward to working with you. I am going to give my friend Tony Iacono, president of County College of Morrison, a call because he stole two of our folks within the last year, Vivian Ray and John Marlin. So it's nice to have one of his coming our way.
It's been tough losses for you as well.
But John, thank you. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Thanks.
It's nice to be able to see one another today as we make the switch to WebEx for the town hall meetings. We have a lot to cover today. So today's meeting might last a bit longer. If you can stay with us, I hope you can. If you can't, we understand, but I do hope you find the information helpful. I want to thank Tricia Clay and her team for their support of our change to WebEx, and a special thanks to Willie Shire, Hardik Sanjabi, Jen Oakley, Marcy Williams, Alexa Rihanna, Jen Christopher, and Murta Sanchez, and probably others for planning and helping facilitate our meeting today. In order to speak during our meeting, please raise your hand with the hand raising notification icon during the comments and questions portion of the meeting, or at other times in the meeting if you wish to speak. We're gonna, because there's so much material, we really are going to try to wait until the end to do questions, comments, celebrations. But if there's something that's really important and you want to speak before then, raise your hand, please. Alexa will let us know who would like to speak, and then Willie will unmute speakers one at a time. Like you, I also look forward to when we can again meet in person. And with that in mind, I'd like to invite Return to Campus Task Force co-chairs, Lisa Doherty and Heather DeVries, to offer an update of RTC activities, including our current planning for summer and fall. Lisa and Heather.
Great, thank you. Good to see everyone. I will start us off and then Heather will bring us home. So happy to report that so far our spring semester is off to a really good start in terms of our return to campus and health and safety protocols. So thank you, everyone. It takes a village. It's a team effort. I see Alexa there with her mask and her cubicle. So everyone seems to be following the rules, and it really does help our community. So thank you. In terms of summer and fall planning, without jinxing ourselves, we do have reason to believe that we are headed toward somewhat of a new normal this summer and then specifically in the fall. As the numbers come down and vaccinations become more widely available, we really do hope that in the fall we will be able to return to a more normal on-ground operation in both teaching and learning and student services, with the hope that we can gradually make these adjustments throughout the summer. Like everything, we are prepared to pivot. We know that it's very unpredictable, but we have become very good at pivoting. So we are certainly prepared to do that. But it's definitely a little bit easier to pull back than it is to push forward. So we are planning for the best, hoping for the best, understanding that we may need to make adjustments. In terms of commencement, I want to just briefly touch on commencement, that we are aware it is coming at us fast and furious, and there is a group working on this to determine the best options, and ultimately we will be surveying our students to see what their preferences are and how we can best celebrate them. We want to remind everyone about the reporting protocol. We are sending that message out fairly frequently, but it's really, really important. If you or you become aware of someone that has tested positive, we really need them to fill out the coronavirus concern form. If you're a faculty member or staff member and you feel that maybe the student is not doing it in a timely manner, please do it on their behalf, and then we will follow up from there. But that's the most important piece of the puzzle in order for the next things to happen. So we don't know if a class needs to move remote or if a department needs to adjust staffing until we speak to the person who's either been exposed or tested positive. So please continue to keep that form handy. We want to remind you also about our health and safety protocols, that masks must be worn at all times inside of the campuses, over the nose properly, 6 feet distance at all times, and capacities in the certain classrooms and offices need to be adhered to. And just to remember that we're all in this together. If you see someone not complying, it is okay to politely ask them to put their mask on properly. If you do ask a student or staff member to comply and they refuse to do so, your next step is to call security. Security phone numbers are in all offices and classrooms, and they are prepared to step in and handle that. So we really are counting on everyone. If they see something, to say something. We don't know that we need to address things unless we know. So if you see that there's a specific concern over capacity or cleaning or compliance, please fill out the coronavirus concern form. You can do it anonymously if you wish, or send an email to return@hccc.edu. Many of you are aware that there is research and guidance out there about double masking. We are not in a place right now where we're going to make that part of our required protocols, but it's certainly encouraged. More protection is better than less protection. So we do encourage you to double mask if you wish. And then we are in the process of ordering some additional KN95 masks for the campus for people that would like to have access to one of those. Cleaning continues on a regular basis between every class meeting and offices. There was a deep cleaning over the holiday break, so you may have seen some signage in your work areas saying that this room was deep cleaned on December 20th or December 22nd. Please rest assured that that doesn't mean that was the last time that space was cleaned. That is just notifying you of the deep cleaning. And the regular cleaning is happening through our colleagues at Maverick on a regular basis. The filters in the standalone air purifiers are in the process of being changed. So we are, going with recommendations in terms of changing those filters. And in case you're wondering, they should be left on 24/7. You should never turn off the filter. It should run 24/7 at all times. So if you have a question or an issue with one of your filters, please reach out to Ilya. And then finally, we are about ready to fully launch our thermal mirrors with the integrated questionnaire. So Tricia will be sending out instructions in the coming days for you to, with a link. It's very simple. It's a link where you do a quick questionnaire, then you approach the mirror, it takes your temperature, and it gives you a QR code. So it's simple, but it's a little bit different than what you might be used to if you're using the current smart sheet or the paper surveys. So look for more information on that. I have been 100% in my usage of them in terms of them working for me, and I was having some challenges, we think, because of my height. So if it's working for me, we think it will work for everyone. So those are my updates. I'll turn it over to Heather to finish off with some other important information.
Thank you, Lisa. I will start off by echoing some of what Lisa said with kind of the importance of going back to those basics that we all kind of knew by heart at the beginning of this pandemic nearly a year ago now. Again, we're all gaining confidence as the vaccine rollout continues. We feel like we're on the downslope of this pandemic as we're optimistic that life will return to a relative normal within the coming months. In order for that to happen, though, we need to remain vigilant in our practices, and that does include continuing to wear masks, maintaining social distance, practicing good hygiene in terms of hand washing and coughing or sneezing into our sleeves or a tissue, following directional signage across campus, and abiding by posted capacity limits as well. Lisa mentioned that the CDC has come out with some additional information about the practice of double masking, and our health and safety group has really been engaging with the research and keeping us updated, and they found a link to a really helpful CDC kind of infographic, or it's a series of infographics. It's called the CDC's Guide to Masks, and we will include that link in our forthcoming RTC communication. So we encourage you to keep an eye out for that. and take a good look at it. It's a really wonderful resource. I think I spent about a half hour on it yesterday, just poking around. And as always, we would like to take a moment to extend our gratitude to our health and safety experts, including Catherine Sarangelo, Sirhan Abdullah, Carol Fasano, Kathleen Smith-Wenning, and Warren Rigby, among many, many others, for their continued engagement and expertise. Another update concerns our partnership with the North Hudson Community Action Center at our North Hudson campus. The partnership continues as the NHCAC is currently using our North Hudson campus as a vaccination site. The NHCAC is distributing COVID-19 vaccines on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Fridays currently in the student lounge at North Hudson between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. Those receiving the vaccines are mostly senior citizens who are one of the highest risk groups. The student lounge is the only designated space for the NHCAC vaccination effort. Individuals coming to the North Hudson campus to receive their vaccine are entering and exiting through the loading dock door on 48th Street only, which is completely separate from the main building. A security officer is posted at this door to limit the number of people in the student lounge at any given time, and masks are required. All college traffic, on the other hand, continues to use the main entrance on Kennedy Boulevard, where our thermal mirrors that Lisa just spoke about are stationed. The RTC will continue to circulate the COVID-19 infographic that the RTC Health and Safety Group developed, and it is now available in Arabic and Spanish as well. Thank you to Warren Rigby and Jen Christopher and her team for making that possible. Finally, Human Resources is working with our health and safety experts to set up another vaccine facts versus fiction panel about the vaccine, similar to the one that was held on College Service Day. So keep an eye out for that. At the end of today's town hall, during the Q&A session, Lisa and I will be happy to answer any questions. But for now, Chris, we turn it back to you.
Thank you so much, Lisa and Heather. You continue to offer stellar leadership for which we're all most grateful, truly grateful. In my monthly meeting last Friday with the officers of our Adjunct Faculty Federation, Rafi Manjikian shared that he was pleased to be involved in the RTC task force, and he further shared his belief that HCCC leads the state of New Jersey in the way we've come together to address the challenges of the pandemic. And Rafi, we greatly appreciate all that you have done to help make that possible. I thank all who have worked and continue to work so hard on the task force and beyond to support our students and one another at this time of continuing great challenge. As Lisa and Heather noted, we're currently planning for fall to look much more normal, albeit not necessarily a completely new normal. Dr. Fauci is predicting, in his own words, a significant degree of normality by fall. It's encouraging, as was already stated, to see the number of infections, hospitalizations, and fatalities decrease while the number of immunizations progressively increases. We're expecting to return to full on-ground instruction and services in the fall, with a gradual increase through the summer leading up to fall. As always, we will continue to monitor circumstances and adjust as necessary between now and then, but all of us who normally teach and work on ground should plan to return to on-ground, beginning with a gradual return to campus over the summer for those who are able and conditions allow, and then a full return in the fall. And if you have any questions or concerns, please discuss those with your supervisor. And I want to do a real shout out to many of you who have been working on ground for some time and currently are working on ground. We really, really appreciate that. Last week, an HCC team of 28 students, faculty, and staff attended the National Conference of Achieving the Dream. We were delighted that 6 faculty and 5 students joined our Hudson team at the virtual conference. Our team included Sirhan Abdullah, Pam Bandiopatia, Jenny Bobea, Lizette Borgano, Joe Caniglia, Shanine Caruana, David Clark, Chris Conzen, Sharon Daughtry, Heather DeVries, Lisa Doherty, Sheila Dinan, Kenny Fabera, Daryl Jones, Anna Kropitsky, Pedro Moranchel, Jahan Nakla, Yuris Pujols, Alexa Riano, Paula Roberson, Laura Samuelson, Tyler Sarmiento, John Scanlon, Angela Tuzzo, Jeanette Wiggins, Lalisa Williams, Kelly Yu, and yours truly. And I'll bet you I'm leaving someone else out. But, you know, it's so wonderful to see how more and more of our college community members have become engaged in this work. And it was a powerful experience. We celebrated our own Pedro Moranchel Jr., who's many of you know, he's an HCCC physics major and a member of Phi Theta Kappa, who was selected to participate in the 2021 Dream Scholars Program. Pedro is one of just 8 students nationally who have been honored in this way. And Pedro spoke eloquently in several conference sessions attended by thousands of community college students, faculty, and staff from around the nation and the world. And needless to say, we're exceedingly proud of Pedro's achievements and his outstanding representation of Hudson County Community College at the National Dream Conference. The 8 Dream Scholars were asked to write a poem entitled "I Am From" to share with conference attendees. Pedro's in class right now and unable to join us today, but I'd like to share the 4-minute video of Pedro reading his poem for the Dream Conference. These videos by design were filmed in black and white, and I'm not sure what the reason for that is, but you don't have to adjust your color. They were shown in black and white. If we could right now, Willie and Hardick, show this 4-minute video.
I am from Jersey City, a land where 5 different languages were heard in my morning commute. I belong to a household of a wonderful mesh of Mexican, Honduran, and American cultures. Spanish at home, English outside. A place where instead of shining night stars would be reflections of broken glass against the pavement. I was someone who used to come home gushing about my algebra class and was in awe of learning about the Sigma sign. I was the middle schooler who wanted to be everything, included a journalist, doctor, writer, businessman, and lawyer. I was indecisive, and for the longest time viewed that as a weakness. I was someone who wasn't ready. I was scared, silent, and reserved about my place in the world. I am someone who was known as that kid that didn't talk, and who would break down in public speaking, handshaking, sometimes crying. I am the proud son of 2 immigrant parents, an ex-flower farmer and trailblazer for woman mother, now a janitor and stay-at-home mom. And one day, those struggles were shared with me during the last year of high school. I am absolutely who I am today based on those conversations, their sacrifice and their risk of love. They wanted to provide me a chance, despite their fears and no guarantee of success. I am who I am today because I realized how privileged I was to be a U.S. citizen. My parents' stories made me want to make every day worth it and to do more. My blue notebook, which was my constant companion, documented my college search, who I wanted to be, and how to start over. I was inspired by Hudson County's Community College's alumni Ibrahim Salih and Sarah Harry Young, who overcame challenges themselves and made me feel like I could do it too. HCCC's location, small size, diverse student body, global perspective, student support and encouragement, financial benefits, and the you can do it attitude made it the perfect choice for me. It was a space of varying perspectives, from Colombian single mothers to Honduran veterans. I am someone who noticed the lack of Hispanic attendees like myself in a New York City math seminar. I am someone who was saddened by my research on STEM education disparity between the races in my community. I am someone, most importantly, who wanted to do something about it. It was through these experiences that I wanted to center myself on education policies, forces of the future, and forces I wanted to be on the forefront of. I'm an advocate of science being listened to. I am an honor student in physics, an officer in our Phi Theta Kappa chapter, STEM Club, and the Student Governments Association. I have worked for the Princeton Plasma Physics Laboratory. I have connected with groups from NASA to Goldman Sachs, producing a program called the Liberty Learning Initiative, in which HCCC STEM students can volunteer to tutor local middle schoolers. And it's just the beginning. As a future mathematics professor and an academic for the community, I want to provide programs to advance diversity and science access. I want to impact K-12 programming to encourage more low-income minority STEM students like myself, to create more research opportunities for students of color, and to increase the numbers in the STEM pipeline. I want to be an example for my future students who look like me, who are similar to me, to feel like they can do it too. I want to know that I'm fighting for a more equitable world for my future children. To work tirelessly, ambitiously, and with heart and love, one day at a time, just as my parents did for me. That no matter the challenges we face in changing the world, to remember my mother saying, todos tenemos que estar fuertes. We all have to be strong.
Wow. Pedro, like students throughout Hudson County Community College, is such an inspiration. I also want to thank Dream Team co-chairs Sheila Dinan and Heather DeVries for their exemplary leadership and support of HCCC's participation in the Dream Conference and for all they do. Heather and Sheila, will you please now offer an update on the powerful work of the ATD Dream Team? Thank you.
Thank you. Dream scholars are always a tough act to follow, but Sheila and I will do our best. We had, in addition to Pedro, we had 4 other students attend Dream 2021 virtually last week, and we had an opportunity to speak to a few of them at our weekly Dream Team meeting last week, and I know Sheila spoke to a few of them in other meetings or other venues, and they were just bubbling over with excitement, as I know many of you who attended were, who I saw at various meetings throughout the week. We will have a more formal opportunity to kind of debrief and collect our thoughts tomorrow. Our Achieving the Dream Leadership and Data coaches, Dr. Mary Fifield and Dr. Renee Garcia, respectively, set up considering Dream took an unconventional format this year, they set up a kind of a post-Dream debrief meeting with us. So we are very much looking forward to that tomorrow. And Sheila and I are both looking forward to really hearing everyone's impressions and takeaways from the conference, and then how we pivot that into action at HCCC. Otherwise, speaking of Dr. Fifield and Dr. Garcia, their visit dates, their second site visit, virtual site visit, had originally been scheduled for March 9th through 12th, but had to be pushed back a week. So it is now scheduled for March 16th through 19th. And I know some of you have already received emails about, holding particular times for meetings with them from Sheila and or myself, but we will be starting to schedule things in force next, early next week probably. So keep an eye out for emails. Otherwise, we wanted to share a few updates from our various HOW teams who are really kind of the legs of our action plan and putting it into practice and making it a reality. So I'm going to provide a few updates from Priority 1 strategies, and Sheila will provide updates for Priority 2 strategies. For our Priority 1 strategies, which focus around ESL and developmental education, English and mathematics, kudos to John Scanlon and Dee Franco for their just heroic efforts in working through the DS directed self-placement data. For anyone who has ever worked with kind of raw data, can be quite messy. And I know there was a lot of organizational work that had to go in to prepare it for analysis. So thank you very much for taking that deep dive and getting that to each of the HOW teams. Those 3 HOW teams, ESL, developmental education English, and developmental education mathematics, the task on their plates right now, I think, is really focused on taking a deep dive into that data and kind of making meaning out of it. So we look forward to report out on that in the coming months. Otherwise, at this point, I turn it over to Sheila for our Priority 2 updates.
Thank you, Heather. The HOW teams under Priority 2, let me begin with HOW Team 2.1, which is the students' leaders. And they were engaged in a project documenting students' voices throughout the fall of 2020. They have called this project Hudson is Home, and they truly believe in that phrase. They relish it. They will continue their work on this project as it resumes this semester. We will meet later on this afternoon, And we are also looking in that particular group to add 3 or 4 more students to this group so that we can have continuity as some of our current students will be graduating. We do also have alums on this group, and as they transition to other schools and other work, we need to keep consistency in this group so this project does not fall through. How Team 2.2 is removing barriers, and they are currently analyzing course schedules offerings for equity gaps. 2.2 will be distributing a survey aimed at evaluating the current course design of CSS 100, and the co-leads are Dr. Pam Bandiopathy, Jason Figueroa, and Victoria Marino will be working with them too. How Team 2.3, which is Hudson Helps, is working in collaboration with enrollment services to develop and implement questions on the admissions application that assesses what kind of academic and non-academic services the students would be interested in receiving them at the college. 2.3 will be reaching out to other institutions with similar programs that are similar to Hudson Helps to learn more about their best practices. And the co-leads on that are Dr. David Clark and Dr. Ara Karakashian. How Team 2.4 is specifically about academic supports, and they are building on the momentum established by College Service Day presentation on how to make teaching more inclusive by Dr. Valerie C. Dudley, and developing a workshop on developing inclusive learning environments at HCCC, and the co-leads are Jackie Safant and Joe Caniglia. We have a new How Team, it's 2.5, and it is being labeled as pre-nursing. And this is a new addition to our Student Success Action Plan. This How Team will examine data related to the momentum and the persistence of students in the pre-nursing cohort. The How Team 2.5's objective is to help students who are not accepted into the nursing program persist in their academic studies at HCCC. And this will be up and running within the next 2 weeks. We have contacted members. Heather and I will co-lead this How Team. So you will get more on this as we develop it, but hopefully it will be up and running for the first meeting somewhere in the next 2 weeks. And if anybody on this town hall, if you have heard anything that is interesting that you would like to be involved in, please let Heather and I let us know, and we would be happy to have you help and serve. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Diane and Heather, and a sincere thanks to all who are involved on the DREAM team, in our HAL teams, and in all of the student success work throughout the college. I'm also really pleased to share that I received a note last Friday from Phi Theta Kappa National Honor Society President, Dr. Lynn Tincher-Ladner, notifying us that Hudson County Community College's Phi Theta Kappa chapter has again been named a REACH chapter for 2021. This honor recognizes and rewards Phi Theta Kappa chapters that excel in membership development. Our Beta Alpha Phi chapter of Phi Theta Kappa will receive special recognition in the form of 20 Phi Theta Kappa graduation stoles to be worn by chapter officers and members during graduation and to keep in celebration of their college completion milestone. We can't overstate the importance and impact of Phi Theta Kappa membership and participation. Nationally, a full 91% of Phi Theta Kappa members at community colleges across the nation, 91% complete an associate degree or transfer to a four-year college or university, compared to just 38% of all other students attending community colleges nationally. There's likely no stronger correlation to student success than participating in our 5-star Beta Alpha Phi chapter of Phi Theta Kappa. Just yesterday, we learned that 4 HCCC Phi Theta Kappa members have been selected as semifinalists this year for the nationally prestigious Jack Kent Cooke Foundation Undergraduate Transfer Scholarship. This scholarship provides 3 years of full scholarship funding for completing a bachelor's degree at a 4-year college or university. And we've been enormously honored to have students receive that scholarship each, at least of the 2 last years. So we congratulate Adam Alamin, Gerardo Leal, Pedro Moranchel, and Sophia Pazmino for being named semifinalists for a Jack Kent. These involvements and accomplishments, needless to say, are life-changing. We thank and congratulate Chapter Advisor Theodore Lai, the chapter officers, and all members of Phi Theta Kappa. You are all truly an inspiration. And it's always the highlight of my week to receive from Ted, without exception, pictures on Sunday of wonderful service work that members of our chapter do every single week. At the February 16th meeting of our Board of Trustees, 3 of our outstanding and valued faculty colleagues were approved for tenure and promotion to the rank of Assistant Professor, effective next academic year. We congratulate Instructor of English, Eric Adamson, Instructor of Computer Science, Faisal Al-Jamal, and Instructor of Business, Dr. Peter Cronrath. Gentlemen, you are all an inspiration, and we're so pleased that you're all taking this important next step in your careers as part of the HCCC family. I'd like to invite Eric, Faisal, and then Peter to each say a few words, starting with Eric.
Thank you, Dr. Reber. I just wanted to say I've spoken about this a few times at meetings now, and I certainly still want to thank the administration and the people involved in the tenure panel and my dean, but I don't think I've thanked enough my colleagues, my fellow faculty members and staff who are such an amazing support system and amazing people to work with, and who I see every day, and I can't wait to keep working with those people. And a special shout out to the maybe 5 or 6 people who so carefully read my tenure portfolio multiple times after I sent it to them. I'm really looking forward to the next step that tenure brings with it and all of the different things that we'll be able to do.
Faisal. Thank you, Eric.
Thank you. I made 3 decisions in my career which I would never regret. 1, choosing computer science as a major. 2, retiring from the private sector. 3, working for Hudson County Community College. By establishing the cybersecurity program, I was able to help my students pursue bachelor's degrees and master's degrees in cybersecurity, which is one of the most attractive majors nowadays. Our cybersecurity graduates earned hundreds of thousands of dollars in scholarships. Today, I would like to thank those who enable these graduates to pursue their goals in the right path and to help their families and to better their lives. Thank you, Dr. Reber, Dr. Jones, Dr. Yearwood, Vice President Dorothy, Lisa Doctrine, Dean Heather, Dr. Friedman, Dr. Marlin, Dr. Tabatabai, and fellow faculty and administrators. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, Faisal. And Peter.
I'll just say thank you, Dr. Reber, Dr. Jones, the BCH division, and the rest of HCCC for this recognition. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks so much, and congratulations again, Eric, Faisal, and Peter. Also approved at last Tuesday's Board of Trustees meeting were our new mission, vision, and values statements that will be the cornerstone of the college's new strategic plan. These statements were developed through survey input, meetings and conversations of faculty, staff, students, trustees, foundation directors, and community representatives over the past 6 months. I'd like to read you very quickly, show you on the screen and just quickly read our three new statements. So on the left, you have the previous ones. So our new mission statement is Hudson County Community College provides its diverse communities with inclusive, high-quality educational programs and services that promote student success and upward social and economic mobility. Our vision, as one of the nation's leading and most diverse urban community colleges, we aspire to offer consistently best practice, transformative educational and economic opportunities for our students and all residents of Hudson County. And our new value statement is in the form of an acronym, which is Hudson Cares. Hudson County Community College is committed to these values: holistic services, understanding through data, diversity, equity, and inclusion, student success, open to all, national distinction, collaboration and engagement, academic excellence, responsible stewardship of resources, ethical behavior, integrity, and transparency, support of innovation and leadership. It's an amazingly challenging process to write statements like this and to really do so with a view to inclusivity and the involvement of everyone. We pulled that off. So many of you participated in what is now these outcomes. And it was interesting to watch, even right down to the 11th hour, as we were ready to send the statements to the board for their review and final approval. Lauren Drew sent me a note and said, can we add high quality to the mission statement? Which of course made perfect sense. I'm glad we were able to do that. So I think we were, this is something hopefully we all feel we own. And I thank you all for your participation. I want to in particularly thank several people who played a leadership role: Executive Director of Institutional Research, John Scanlon; Dean of Academic Affairs and Assessment, Heather DeVries; Vice President for Academic Affairs, Darrell Jones; and former Executive Vice President and Provost, Eric Friedman. So we now turn our attention to the writing of our new strategic plan that will include these revised statements and will be informed by our completed academic master plan, student success action plan, and our diversity, equity, and inclusion goals. Those three documents, again, are the result of a huge cross-section of our community members' work. As we now try to weave together all of these pieces into our new plan, we will again invite the participation and engagement of the entire college community in the process of completing our new plan. We'll be working with Dr. Jim Davey from Rutgers Newark, who also served as a consultant during the writing of our academic master plan and in our previous strategic planning process. We hope to complete the new strategic plan for board review and approval in August, and it will be the focus of this year's board and presidential retreat in July. A few weeks ago, a team of 14 HCCC students, staff, and trustees attended the annual National Legislative Summit, sponsored by the Association of Community College Trustees in collaboration with the American Association of Community Colleges. The remarks of our students who attended NLS, coupled with our team's participation in meetings with legislators, educators, and others, were highlights of a conference packed with inspiration and important conversation. I thank all who represented our college at NLS: Trustees Gardner and Lee, Vice Presidents Chevrolet, Doherty, and Krapitsky, Associate Dean Veronica Gerasimo, students Maria Mesquita, Pedro Moranchel, Warren Rigby, Christian Rodriguez, and Selene Rodriguez, and alumni Coral Booth and Abderrahim Salih, and yours truly. Our team of 14 participants was again the largest college team from New Jersey. Last Thursday, as many of you are aware, Hudson County Community College proudly hosted Tamika Palmer, mother of Breonna Taylor, in a College Speaker Series event attended by hundreds of students, faculty, staff, and community members, including attendees from as far away as Sweden and Louisiana. It was an inspirational, moving, and very powerful program that also included original works read by poet Rashad Wright and a virtual tour of the Monira Foundation exhibition in the Deneen Hall Gallery featuring artist Ezekwe Mohammed. Professor Dorothy Anderson and Director of Cultural Affairs Michelle Vitale facilitated the conversation with Ms. Palmer, and they did a beautiful job. We thank all who were involved in developing and offering this impactful program. In addition to Dorothy and Michelle, we thank Veronica Gerasimo, Lalisa Williams, Iris Pujols, Amala Ogburn, other members of the President's Advisory Council on Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, and many others. I want to note that the event was recorded and it's available for you to view on our college's YouTube site. It is now there, I'm told. I'd like now to invite PAC Day co-chairs Lalisa Williams and Iris Pujols to offer remarks and an update on the inspirational work of PAC Day. Iris and Lalisa.
Hey, thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Dr. Reaver. Thank you for this opportunity. And as we, give these updates or give this update for today, just want to thank everyone that is a part of Hudson County Community College in any way and all the contributions that you're making to bring the meaning of PAC Day and the work of diversity, equity, and inclusion efforts to life. It's really refreshing, rewarding, and very exciting and inspirational. As Dr. Weaver mentioned, just having that event with Breonna Taylor's mom, that was so powerful. But we are happy to share that our sub-goal committees are continuing to work on identifying ways that they can achieve the objectives within each of their goals. Now that add and drop period has ended, the sub-goals are also resuming their meetings, as well as the general PAC Day, which stands for President's Advisory Council on Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, our first meeting of the year, which is scheduled for this Thursday, February 25th. I am also happy to inform you that PAC Day's monthly meeting scheduled for this Thursday will be attended by Doctors Mary Fifield and Renee Garcia from Achieving the Dream. This meeting will further the talk about how we better align our alignment between our two overarching priorities, which is one is college and student success and diversity, equity, and inclusion. In addition to that, we also would like to let you know that Dr. Aaron Fichtner, who is the president of the New Jersey Council of Community Colleges, will be attending our meeting scheduled for April the 15th at 12 p.m. We are so excited to share with others from around the state and around the country the PAC Day model and any of our best practices as others look to and might want to continue to benefit from them. Additionally, we just want to let everyone know that we are happy to announce that Dr. Paula Roberson has invited us to a meeting with Carol Watchler from the Bayard Rustin Center for Social Justice. And we are looking forward to that. That will be an engagement where we will strategize ways to bring back some new and best practices that we can implement at Hudson County Community College. This meeting came out of the recommendation made by Dr. Valerie Dudley, who you might recall was our featured speaker during College Service Day last month. And as you recall, like Dr. Dinan also mentioned earlier, she spoke about how to make teaching more inclusive here at the college. So also want to now just turn it over. That's all I have to share, and turn it over to my partner, Iris. Anything else you want to add to this, Iris?
Yes, of course. Thank you, partner. And thank you, Dr. Reaver, for this opportunity to speak today. Good afternoon, everyone. As Elisa mentioned, our first meeting is scheduled for this Thursday, yet there's so much going on and, stuff that we're all very proud of. First, Dr. Reaver mentioned this, but we also want to give thanks to Michelle Vitale, Veronica Gerasimo, Professor Dorothy Anderson, and many others for the Tamika Palmer event that we held last week. I mean, Dr. Reaver said that it was inspirational, it was powerful, and we're just really happy that we were able to hold that. And again, if you missed the program, we encourage you to check it out in the HCCC YouTube channel. Also, the barbershop held its third session this past Friday. We had a deep and candid conversation. The theme or the topic was BOB or Bob. It was that's Black on Black violence, or Brown on Brown violence. That was facilitated by Dr. Barry Yearwood. It was powerful, it was intense, it was deep, and just be on the lookout. We will have other topics for further conversations and engagement. Also, you'll notice that our Want to Talk About It sessions are also themed now, and the theme or the topic for discussion are going to be written in every flyer. We actually have a session today right after the town hall. So, we'd like to encourage you to attend. For this session, we have Stephanie Mills from Hudson Pride as facilitator. And this is a common practice, and we want to make sure that we bring people from the outside to always, broaden our perspectives. The first speaker from our Stories Untold series, this is from our partnership with Human Resources, scheduled for tomorrow, Wednesday, February 24th at noon. Dr. Paula Robertson is a featured storyteller, and all of you are welcome, and hope you could all join us. Finally, we're really proud of our Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Student Passport program. This program is specific for students and has various educational and engagement opportunities for all students who will participate. Last we heard, we had 32 students registered, and this will be a semester-long program. We want to thank Veronica Gersimo, Mala Akbar, Natalia Basket-Parkins, Diana Galvez for making this into reality. That's all that we have for now. As always, we welcome your questions, comments, concerns, as we always want to make an effort to make sure that every voice is heard, included, with all the perspectives we share. Dr. River, that's all we have for now, and back to you.
Thanks so much for your remarks and your leadership, Yuris and Elisa. Heather and Lisa earlier mentioned the North Hudson Community Action Center. I just want to also recognize how much we value our partnership with them. They are leading the vaccination program at our North Hudson campus. I wanted to note that they're one of just 2 vaccination headquarters in the state of New Jersey to have been approved to receive additional doses from the federal vaccine allocation program going forward. So going forward, they'll receive doses from the state and from the federal sector. Their stellar performance, which includes more equitable distribution that benefits our communities of color, was instrumental in their recognition and approval to receive this increase in vaccine doses. And as a result, vaccinations will now be distributed 5, possibly 6 days per week instead of 3 at the North Hudson campus. We're happy to support the North Hudson Community Action Corporation and proud to be contributing to this critical effort. I want to thank Executive Director of Public Safety and Security, Jack Quigley, for his leadership and support of the offering of vaccines at the North Hudson campus. It doesn't hurt that his mom leads the North Hudson Community Action Corporation, but Jack's worked hard to make this happen. I want to let you know we are looking well, first of all, let me let you know, this is a public vaccination site. So it is open to members of our Hudson County Community College family who go through the process of getting certified and approved and an appointment to have the shot at the North Hudson campus. We're looking right now at the efficacy of creating, I think, a link that we are hoping will allow our community members, once they are eligible for the vaccine, to schedule the appointment directly with the North Hudson Community Action Corporation, rather than having to go through the bureaucracy that many of us have been working through now to try to get an appointment. And this, we hope, will streamline the ability for our community members to take advantage of this vaccination site. I want to note that HCCC trustee Pamela Gardner has been enjoying her involvement on the ACCT Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee representing the Northeastern United States in this role. Dr. Norma Goldstein, who's the ACCT Vice President for Trustee Education, has shared that Hudson County Community College will be featured prominently in a new publication currently in development regarding best practices in diversity, equity, and inclusion in our national community college sector. This is a result of Trustee Gardner's discussion and reporting of information about our collective DEI work, of which we are all so proud. So we thank Pam for her leadership and support. Next week, our screening committee for the new Vice President for Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion position will hold its first meeting to begin the process of reviewing applications from our college community and recommending candidates to interview campus-wide for this exceedingly important new cabinet position. The committee is broadly representative of our college community, and I thank all who have agreed to serve, including representatives of our 4 professional associations, All College Council, HACD, Student Government Association, Phi Theta Kappa, and others. Screening committee members are Eric Adamson, Felicia Allen, Angel Beebe, Lori Bird, Reverend Bolivar Flores, Darrell Jones, Anna Krapitsky, Nancy Lazik, Jose Lowe, Maria Mesquita, Jackie Safont, Michelle Vitale, Elena Winslow, and Burl Yearwood. And I thank Dr. Jones for agreeing to chair the committee. Yesterday, we're almost done here. Yesterday, our new African American Outreach Committee held its second meeting. The committee is comprised of leaders and representatives of the African American community, in addition to HCCC community members. We shared information about the college, including our COVID-19 response, PAC Day activities, scholarships, financial aid opportunities, academic programs, and support services. Committee members will now be able to share this information virtually with others, including prospective students in their respective organizations and neighborhoods. We also discussed committee members' suggestions for how HCCC can become more engaged in the African American community and promote our educational opportunities. We thank Trustee Pamela Gardner for creating this committee and all involved for their leadership and support of initiatives to reach and serve more members of our African American community. And we've reported previously on very similar work being done with the new Latino Advisory Council. I want to, in this case, particularly thank Trustees Gardner and Bakari Lee, Nicholas Chevalotti, Lisa Williams, David Clark, Lisa Doherty, Matt Fessler, and Nakia Santos for offering comments and facilitating discussion at yesterday's meeting. And Eurus, did I miss you? If I missed you, I should have had you in there too. I want to note Nakia shared personal reflections on what HCCC has meant to her as a student and professional, and about her inspirational life journey. Thank you for your beautiful remarks, Nakia. They were the hit of the show, and they inspired everyone. I'm pleased to share, if you're not aware of this, that New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy will visit Hudson County Community College this Friday at 10 a.m. for a brief event to sign the Community College Opportunity Grant, or CCOG, bill that was passed recently by the New Jersey legislature. The signing of this bill will make CCOG a permanently funded financial aid program for New Jersey community college students. Weather permitting and for social distancing reasons, the event will be held in the Culinary Plaza Park. Otherwise, it will be held in the Scott Ring Room on the second floor of the Culinary Conference Center. Solaney Rodriguez, an HCCC student recipient of the Community College Opportunity Grant, will introduce the governor. As many of you are aware, Hudson County Community College offers the most CCOG dollars to the largest number of students in New Jersey. And I thank Lisa Doherty, Veronica Girosimo, Nicholas Chevalotti, our facilities team, and others for their coordination and support of the governor's visit. As you've heard in the news, federal legislators are busy this week preparing to act upon the Biden administration's proposed $1.9 trillion federal stimulus, which may be approved as soon as later this week or next week, certainly by the middle of March. This bill includes proposed funding of $40 billion for higher education, and there's strong prospect for approval of this funding through the budget reconciliation process. If funded at or near this level, there will be a significant additional infusion of federal stimulus funds here at Hudson County Community College. That additional allocation, combined with $17.1 million we received in federal stimulus funding in December, will help us address mounting revenue losses and increased expenditures associated with the pandemic, while providing additional critically needed financial support for students. If approved, this new one-time funding will be instrumental in helping us manage the financial impact of our current enrollment decline of nearly 20%, which is possibly the largest decline of all New Jersey community colleges this spring due to the significant challenges and vulnerability of the students and populations that we're proud to serve. The funding will help us manage continued enrollment challenges into next fall before we expect enrollment to begin to stabilize and grow again. Vice President Veronica Zeitner and her team and others on our leadership team will be discussing these issues with the Board Finance Committee as we prepare our FY22 budget and our annual funding request to the county. In spite of the challenges, our goal is to again recommend to the board no increase in tuition and fees for 2021-22, and to hold employees harmless fully or to the fullest extent possible. With the guidance and support of Evergreen Consultants, our college-wide review of employee position descriptions and the development of recommendations for creating a new employee classification system is underway. Orientation sessions for all members of the college community are being held at various times this week, and focus group sessions will be held next week. We encourage employees to attend one or more of these meetings for an introduction to the process and an opportunity to ask questions and offer suggestions. We expect our work with Evergreen to continue for at least the next 6 months. Vice President Anna Kropitsky and Director of Career Services, Tori Marino, have been working with our consultant. Please feel free to reach out to either of them about the details of the work plan and timeline. And just a reminder that HCCC is participating in this year's Great Colleges to Work For program. This is a national survey designed to recognize institutions that have built great workplaces thanks to the commitment, dedication, and caring of great people. Regardless of whether we're recognized nationally, the data we receive will help inform our continuous improvement as an institution that respects and values all community members. The survey is an opportunity for us to receive feedback and assess our organizational competencies and relationships. So on March 8th, the survey will be distributed to all employees. You'll receive an invitation from Great Colleges with details about the program and how to access the survey, which is voluntary and completely confidential. And I hope you'll take a few minutes to complete the survey. I thank Anna for leading our participation in this national survey. Wow. So needless to say, this is a phenomenally busy and challenging time, but we continue to excel in our commitment to our students, our employees, and our community. It truly takes a village, and we have that caring village. So I'm sorry for the length of all of that. I thought this information was all important to share. We now are happy to open the meeting to questions, comments, and celebrations. So a reminder to please raise your hand and Alexa will call on you when it's your turn to speak, and Willie will unmute you. Thanks, Alexa and Willie, and we welcome your comments or questions or celebrations.
Veronica Gerasimo.
Hi, Veronica. Veronica.
Hi. Sorry, I had to take a moment to unmute. Thank you so much, and I'm going to quickly report out, and then I got to run to another event. But as always, Student Life and Leadership is busy, and want to share some of our exciting accomplishments and future events that we have going on. So actually earlier today, we had our 3rd annual NEDA conversation, National Eating Disorder Awareness Week, with Professor Catherine Buckley. An amazing event. We were able to record it, so we will be getting that up on the YouTube channel. So if you couldn't see it, or if you're a professor and you want to share with your classes, you have the ability to do that. Also, last week, SGA, I got to give a big shout out to our Student Government Association. I mean, we are extremely lucky to have some dedicated students in those leadership roles, but also virtually. I mean, if you can imagine how hard it is for all of us to connect and make things happen at times virtually, and they are doing it tenfold. So they had their first SGA table talk last week, had about, I think, 30 people, and really just an opportunity for students to share their experience. And what was phenomenal is that every student has such a great experience to share. They had a huge shout out to our financial aid team, saying, how responsive and understanding and helpful they are. So, always a shout out to our financial aid team. But we are wrapping up Black History Month. Yours, I'm probably going to say a couple of things you said, so forgive me for repeating. But our Black Student Union held a great Real Talk Tuesday event last week and having another one today. Today's Tuesday, yes. We also had our fantastic speaker series with Tamika Palmer on YouTube, and shout out to Michelle and Dorothy and all involved. Natalia, Amala, Kyle did a beautiful beginning slide piece. It's not on the YouTube. We just didn't want to worry about copyright issues, but we had a beautiful song playing. So if you were there, you had to be there to experience that. But it was beautiful. If you want it, I'll send it to you. We had a great event this past Saturday, an HBCU panel. So our program assistant, Tara McGee, tapped into her network, and we had 5 students who are either currently at HBCUs or recently alum share their experience. It was an amazing panel. We're getting that up on the YouTube as well. That's another event that I would highly recommend if you're a professor and can share that out with your students, to do so. Happening now, actually started 11 minutes ago, is our Want to Talk About It, featuring Stephanie Mills from Hudson Pride, talking about the intersectionalities of being Black and also in the LGBTQI+ community. So if you have the moment after we're done today to pop over to that, I highly recommend that. On Thursday, we have our coffee house celebrating Black history, Black art, Black people, Black excellence. So please feel free to join us for that if your schedule allows. And then lastly, wrapping up on Saturday for our Black History Month virtual paint night. Tickets are still available. I think it's $10, $15. You get everything that you can need for the night. So it's definitely something worth it. I'm looking at all my notes. We are getting ready for Women's History Month. Shout out to Angela's putting together an amazing women's forum, a group of individuals to develop amazing programming for the month. So you'll be seeing that coming soon. Additionally, to celebrate our Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Student Passport Program, huge shout out to Diana Galvez, Amala Akbar, Natalia Vasquez-Bakken, Jave Hall, myself for acting as lead navigators for the event. We have 33 students, I think, that are actually part of it. And this week we start our core workshops. So thinking that we look at 3 core of unconscious bias, microaggressions, and privilege. And these events, these workshops are actually open to everybody. So if you check for your PACDI emails, you'll have the links in there. We do encourage, if you want to come up to any of these workshops, to come. So this week we're featuring week 1 with unconscious bias presented by Lisa Williams for our students. And then lastly, commencement. So if you have anybody who is graduating, in the next month, we'll be sending out information for our students about what commencement looks like. And before you know it, it will be May, and then it'll be summer, and then it'll be a semi-normal fall, hopefully. But I think that is all I have for now. Thank you all so much. I'm going to pop out to go to Want to Talk About It. But everybody have a beautiful day.
Thank you so much. You're amazing, Veronica, you and team. Thank you.
Dr. Jones?
Thank you, Alexa, and good afternoon, everyone. And I too would like to extend a hearty congratulations to the newly tenured faculty. And I'd also like to give props and kudos to the Tenure Review Board, those individuals who really, as Eric mentioned, read documents, deliberate over documents, read documents time and time again to help get us to those points. So the Tenure Review Board members were Sirhan Abdullah, Keewal Krishan, Lester McRae, Allison Bach, Denise Rasili, Issam Al-Achkar, Catherine Buckley, Jeannie Pooh, Anna Kapitsky, and yours Pujols. And to this next group, I really owe special thanks to them. And I probably would not be able to walk on the campus and into the office if I did not acknowledge the extreme effort from Linda Guastini, Pegas Rohr, Priyanka Nayak, and Candace Peterson, who personally ensured that all documents were received, scanned, and supplied to the Tenure Review Board Committee. So congratulations to everyone for your effort in the most recent round of tenure review process. Thank you, Dr. Reber.
Thank you, Daryl, so much.
Romeo?
Hi, Royal.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Can you hear me despite of the mask? Hopefully
Yes.
you can. Great, wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Reber, and everyone that is here, colleagues. In regards to the switch to the WebEx, I thought it was excellent because we get to see faces behind the voices, right? So wonderful. Also, as Veronica, I wanted to echo her. There's just so much that is going on, so many good stuff, so many great things are happening, even during these uncertain times. But we are rising to the top as the HCC community. Lastly, I just want to give a shout out to Nakia, the admissions team, the enrollment services department, Lisa and Matt Kessler, as it relates to our brand new website for the admissions team. So she is on the cover. So you got to go check it out right now. But in any event, thank you for enabling me to be a part of this community. And again, just everyone continue to do a great job. My prayers and condolences towards Archiana's family and just everything that is going on. But again, we are rising. We are a voice. We are a community as it relates to being here at Hudson County Community College, serving our students and, of course, the community at large. So thank you. I have to run and get on a BCH meeting. Well, not BCH, they on high school meeting right now. So thank you so much. Have a great day.
Thank you, Royal. Your mask looks great.
Michael Furlise.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Yeah, shout out to our new tenured faculty members. I've worked, I think, with just about all of them in one capacity, and they made fine contributions to the school and students, and I'm sure they'll continue to do so. So congratulations, all of you. I wanted to speak to Veronica because the PA's cultural committee still has some money. We got a few $1,000s and we're dying to spend it. We've worked with Veronica and PAC Day before. So maybe we can get the word to her that we can figure out some events and get that money there and spend it. So as I said, we're dying to spend it. So hopefully people can help us. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Michael.
Lisa.
Thank you, Michael. I will let her know that we appreciate it very much. I just want to echo Royal's enthusiasm about the website, but also caution you that it is not live yet. We gave the admissions team a sneak peek of the admissions page, and as you can see, they are very excited. But it also gives me the opportunity to thank all of you for your hard work on the website. I'm seeing the finished products or the in-progress products come through, and they are really amazing, well done, well designed, lots of student testimonials. I know it's been a lot of work and it was a struggle, but the finished product is something we're all going to be really, really proud of. So thank you to everyone for all of the work you're putting into that. And then in terms of enrollment, and you heard Dr. Reber, it was not a strong spring, obviously. We really were down significantly, but that doesn't mean that everyone did not work very, very hard to enroll every last student. So thank you for everything you've done. And we're hoping that we are at the bottom and we can climb back toward the top for summer and fall. So thank you for all of your efforts.
Thank you, Lisa. I just want to echo what you said. Our whole enrollment team is phenomenal. They have left no stones unturned. We appreciate all of their efforts.
Mohammed Iman.
Hi, Mohammed. Are you there?
You can unmute yourself, Mohammed.
Mohammed.
I can't unmute.
Yes, you can. We can hear you now.
Now we hear you.
He unmuted himself. Willie, can you check him, please? Check his. Okay, there you go.
Okay. Basically, one point which was, I think, a tradition that last division meeting, the STEM division meeting, invited one of the bad community professor, and we are obliged. And I think that should be taken as a tradition to, at least in the month of February, let us invite one of the faculty members in our division meeting. And it was really, really astonishing, whatever that education was. And I do appreciate, I don't want to name her, probably if she is there, she will name herself, or Professor Joseph can name, but it was very, very educative information. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Do we have others, Alexa?
Not yet.
It looks like Michael Furlise has a question. Can we bring Michael back?
Hi, thanks. So, Chris, I have a question about the on-ground classes for the fall. And, you know, I think we're all really eager to get back in the classroom and on campus. I've heard from several faculty on concerns that they have about, if possible, to continue doing remote. Some of them have children they're taking care of still. Some have elderly parents. Anyway, I guess the question is, are there exceptions? Is there criteria for those who, I'm not going to say emergency, but through certain concerns can continue remote for the fall?
I think we certainly want to include and speak with program coordinators and their deans. We will do everything we can. Just a reminder that while we really do hope, and at least for now are planning for kind of a new normal in the fall, that doesn't mean that we won't continue to do things remotely and online. Quite to the contrary, I think, as we all know, that some of the silver linings in this otherwise horrible experience has been how we have learned together to teach and learn online and remotely. And that has been a priority for the college, to grow that modality as a way of reaching more people. So we're really planning and hoping and expecting longer term to grow both on ground offerings and online and remote offerings. But we want to keep growing in the cloud as well. So, I would encourage, where there are particular individual concerns, let's talk about those. We have needs. We will continue to have growing needs online and remotely. So we'll be happy to talk about those.
So just to be clear, I think you mentioned this earlier, but for those faculty who do have concerns, they should contact their deans or supervisors, things like that.
Yes, I think that's the best way to start.
I forgot to mention earlier, we are having an event. Carrie Rong, Xiao, from the Culture Committee is working with, which group? I don't know, not PAC Day. I think actually with Veronica on artificial intelligence is having a speaker, and I think it's on March 5th. I forgot to mention that.
Excellent. Thank you, Michael.
And Michael, just to echo what Chris has mentioned regarding faculty with unique circumstances or special situations, while I have the eyes and ears of all of the associate deans, you are highly encouraged to continue to listen, to respect, and to hear all of those concerns, bring them to me if you need to, so that we can continue to support our faculty as they deal with family and also their kids in school or not in school, and also staff likewise.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments?
I believe Lauren has a question.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't have a question. I don't know if I somehow raised my hand accidentally. Sorry about that.
Not a problem. Thanks for the high quality edition. Any others? Well, this has been a great time together again. Sorry this one went a little long, but thank you all for everything you're doing. And thank you for being here, and let us know how we can be helpful. Please stay safe, and best to everybody, and we look forward to seeing you again soon. By the way, thanks for everybody who made this happen. I thought it went pretty seamlessly, given the number of different things happening here. So we'll continue this. If you have suggestions for how we can improve this WebEx experience for town halls, please let us know. Thank you all so much. Have a great afternoon. Stay safe, everybody.